On this episode of Sweet Independence, you're going to hear from Hanna Johnson, and she's going to share with us how to create an excellent client experience, how it's okay to fire a client in order to build your dream clientele. Welcome to Sweet Independence, the podcast for beauty professionals ready to build the business of their dreams. I'm Kristen Kinzel, founder of Utopia Modern Salon Suites. With 34 years in this industry, I've seen firsthand the power of independence and community. We'll ditch the stress, unlock your potential, and give you the clarity and confidence to thrive. Get ready to transform your career and build the fulfilling life you deserve. Your flourishing future starts now. Welcome back to the Sweet Independence podcast. Today we have Hanna Johnson, who is a suite owner at our Tyler Point location in West Wichita. She owns the Wicker Chair Salon and Boutique. So Hanna has 15 years of experience as a hairstylist. She's been with us since we opened this location. We love having her in our space. She brings a lot of fun and kindness and energy to our community. So everyone here loves her, and I thought it'd be fun to hear from her and how she's built her business and how well I noticed that she positions her business with her family and really manages all that very well. So Hanna, what else did I miss? Tell us about you.
Yeah, I've done hair for 15 years. I went to Paul Mitchell for my education and started at a commission salon after that. And I've been independent on my own now for, I think, 10 years. So most of my career, I've been on my own.
You've done very well. So when you first got out of school, what type of salon concept did you go into? Were you an assistant? Were you on commission? Tell us a little bit about your journey that got you from school to being here at Utopia.
Okay, so when I graduated, I wanted to go somewhere that was a bigger salon that I would get a good place to grow my clientele. I wanted to go somewhere that I did everything. So I started out at a pretty large salon and spa concept place. I did facials, I did pedicures, I did nails. I was not good at it, but I did it so that I could meet people and grow my clientele. I'd started growing my clientele in hair school because I had gone to Wichita State, and so I had sorority and fraternity friends and things like that, but I definitely needed more.
Sure.
Yeah, I started at a large commission salon that had like 18, 20 employees and worked there for a few years.
What was it like doing everything? All those services that we're trained on but can't possibly be good at.
I tried to stay as busy doing everything other than perms that I could possibly do. I can proudly say I've not done a perm since hair school. That was something I hated.
Never got good at it.
I enjoyed doing facials and getting like a little bit of the spa part. I don't think that I should have been charging the same as the estheticians because I don't think it was the same experience, but it kept me busy. It made sure I made money. It kept regular income, which was nice. It was a good first job because they guaranteed an hourly income if I wasn't busy, and that was stability that I had been looking for, but still with the ability to eventually grow and have like a luxury salon. I didn't really know what my goal was. I just knew I didn't want to get stuck somewhere where I charged like cheap prices and just be there forever. So
that's so smart to start off strong and position yourself well for long-term success.
I still have clients that I met at my very first salon.
That's
like,
crazy.
Even after taking 2 years off in the middle of my career to stay home, I got several of them back. And some of them were just people that called up there and needed to make an appointment and got me. And so it wasn't always the best experience being in a commission environment, but I wouldn't change anything because it was the best way to grow my clientele.
Yeah. So how did you get from there to going independent?
Kind of a rough experience. I worked at a small business commission salon after the first one. I went there because I knew the owner, admired her, and wanted to work for her. And after about 8 months, I had done a side job, I couldn't really call it a job because I didn't get paid for it. I had a client that owned like a local magazine that wanted me to help do some hair and makeup for them because they had kind of dropped the ball and forgot to ask someone to do it. Did it on my day off. Didn't get paid, but the owner of that salon, I don't know if she felt threatened by it or upset that I didn't tell her about it, whatever it was, posted on Facebook how much fun I had doing this photo shoot for them and like helping them with their small local magazine. And the next day I lost my job.
Oh, wow.
Lost my job for something that I never knew I wasn't supposed to do.
Yeah.
So doing something on my own time to help a client, I don't know.
Turn out to be a blessing in disguise?
Yes.
It usually
Yes, it
does.
did.
Yeah.
It was very heartbreaking at the time. I had a 1.5-year-old. My husband at the time was in school. We had one income. It was mine.
Oh, wow.
It was devastating. It made me refuse
better.
to work for another person. Because unfortunately in this industry, most people, not to bash salon owners by any means, but most people that own a salon are a hairstylist, not a business degree. They don't have management experience. And so they can take something personal and fire you. And I didn't like that instability again. So I was like, the only way I'm going to keep doing hair is if I do it for myself. And I don't know if I ever would have done it if I hadn't been pushed into it. Like, I don't know if I would have just quit and been like, I'm going to go do this, because it's scary. I was scared of not having a W-2 and having to do my own taxes. I was scared of what if I'm not busy and I don't make money, you know, all of those things that I think every stylist fears when they go off on their own. But I went off, let's see, I called the previous place that I worked before this and kind of said my situation, and I started there, I think, a month later. Like, I mean, we had a month without income, but I hit the ground running, and I've never gone back.
So in a month, you got your salon space licensed. You had to start a booking system, point of sale system. You had a lot to do.
I took out a small business loan to get all my color, all my product, all of those things. It was scary, but it was the best decision I could have ever made.
Did it go well right off the bat?
Oh yeah, my clients were so supportive because they got most commission salon do this really fun thing where they call all your clients and tell them that you're gone. Don't tell them where you go, but offer them 50% to like stay and go to someone else. So my clients, I love them so much. The first time they came to me at the new place, they were like, I knew something was fishy. Like, you would never do something to get yourself fired. I'm like, I know. I don't get in trouble. I'm like that kid that never had a detention.
The rule follower.
I am. I'm a rule follower.
Yes.
And so they were like, I knew something was sketchy. And they were very, very supportive. Enough so even that it was like, I'm telling all my friends to come and, come and support you. And I mean, my business grew faster than it ever had because people want to help. Like, people are genuinely good.
All the time, whenever we bring someone in new from a commission salon, their biggest fear is that their clients won't come with them or that their salon will do something like that and retain their clients. And you have to live through it to know that it's real, but I see it over and over from my vantage point. Exactly that. You come here or any place that you open your own thing, whether you open your own salon or you lease a suite or a studio somewhere, and your clients are so supportive. They come in droves. And now they're supporting you. They love you. That's why they come to you, because you do great hair, but also they have a relationship built with you and a loyalty and a trust. And you know things about their lives. They know things about yours.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely build relationships. And I mean, now I know that they would never, I would be more afraid now to go to a salon that my clients would be like, they like the privacy. People come in here and tell you their life. Sometimes they break down crying because something hard is going on. And when there's like a line of people next to you, they don't have the ability to build that same bond. Now, for the last 10 years, my clients have only ever known this private relationship. And I have had to shut the door. I have had to allow a little bit more privacy for us, but because of that, I'm more connected with my clients than I ever was when I wasn't in a private suite.
I think that is something that I see really sets you apart. I notice when you post on social media or just when I am in the salon and you're with a client, you are huge on your client relationships and your client experience. And it's easy to say you do great hair. That's easy to do. A lot of people do great hair. Anybody can learn and do great hair. But to have the ability to really connect with your clients at the level you do is something that I see as very unique. And I think that contributes greatly to what makes you successful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So what is it that you do that creates that great client experience?
You mean like in the relationship aspect or just the whole thing? The whole thing?
All of it.
Okay. Well, I think I'm a notorious oversharer. I share a lot about myself with my clients, which some people may think is unprofessional, but I think because I do that, they feel the freedom to share with me as well.
I think it can be unprofessional, but I think you do it in a way that it's not.
I mean, and I know what to talk about with which client. You know, you kind of, that's a skill in being a hairdresser that I think you're either born with or you're not, to be able to read people and know
I agree.
who you can talk to about what subject. But I guess I've always respected that this is a huge part of people's budget, and I want to provide an experience that is worth what they're coming in here to pay. Not just so they feel good about themselves and their hair and all of that, but just that they feel like most of my clients are moms. And I want them to know that this couple of hours away that they get away from their kids, away from their husband, away from work, whatever it may be, that they get to fully relax. So if that means being able to vent, great. If that means that we're quiet, that's fine. I feel like just me gauging them as a person and seeing what they need is part of it. And then just simple things like I always have music going. I have snacks. I have drinks. Just nobody's ever going to be hungry or thirsty or uncomfortable in my chair. And then, yeah, I guess just being able to talk about anything and everything. Something that I value as a hairstylist is I've seen people through infertility, miscarriage, infant loss, divorce, moves, all of the things. And they have also seen me through those things. So after 15 years of it, you build a client relationship where some of my clients know me better than some of my extended family members. Most of them do, probably, because they've been here through difficult times of my life as well. So I don't know if that probably contributes to the experience over time. Obviously, if it's a new client, that's different. But I think that we've just been through the ringer together.
Yeah, I think that you showing your vulnerabilities in the things that you share probably makes them feel very comfortable, and they know there's nothing they can share with you that will shock you, or you definitely are not ever perceived as judgmental. Or
I try very hard to not be judgmental. I had a client come out in my chair that hadn't even told her parents yet.
Wow.
You know, like that was a moment where I was like, wow.
Tell us that story. We got to know.
This is an incredible career. Like, to be able to be a safe enough space that an 18-year-old girl can like be that vulnerable with you when she hasn't even told her family yet. That was a huge moment for me. I was like, wow.
Did you struggle to know even what to do with that? I can't imagine.
I thanked her. I mean, I thanked her for feeling safe with me. She told me that she just knew I wasn't judgmental and that she felt like she could talk to me about it. She has since moved. She doesn't come to me anymore, but I've checked in on her and seen how she's doing. I mean, kept a relationship going because of that. She doesn't have a very accepting family, which is sad, but I think that being able to open up, it just made me as a stylist step back and say, wow, okay, this is more than doing someone's hair. This is a big thing that somebody's able to open up and be that vulnerable with you. And that was a big deal for me. And then I've always since then made sure that my social media and the outward view of me and who I am shows this openness and lack of judgment so that any other clients can feel the same kind of safety, you know, in the space.
I think you've nailed that.
Thank you.
You're very good at that.
Thanks.
That's easy to read when looking at you on social media.
I think when you do this job long enough and you see people from so many different walks of life and different belief system and all of that, but you also see that they're all good, you just lose judgment. You know, like you really learn to just meet people where they're at. I don't really judge anyone.
I think that's one of the gifts of being a hairstylist.
Yeah,
I've
truly
always
is.
appreciated that we're relatable to everyone in one way or another.
And I mean, we don't see every walk of life. Obviously, not everyone can afford luxury hair care and stuff, but you see a lot of it. You see people with all different experiences and all of that. So yeah, it's definitely been a gift.
So when did you realize that being able to be someone who can offer this kind of client experience would be beneficial to your business, and being able to offer a premium service at a higher price point? When did you realize that how that could benefit you as a business person and your business?
I think I just kind of got there. I did take 2 years off to stay home with my kids and ended up in a divorce situation at the end of those 2 years. So I had to go back to work and be able to support my family with just my income independently. So I was faced with, do I quit doing hair? Do I go back to a commission salon? Or do I go back on my own and hope that I can make enough? Like, money was more important, I guess, at that point, because I wasn't a secondary income anymore. Mm-hmm. So I think that was kind of when I was like, all right, so yes, money's never been the number one thing for me, but I do have to support my family. Mm-hmm. And I have always wanted to be a luxury level stylist. So going back, I was not going to not do hair anymore. That is a huge part of my identity. Going back to a commission salon was not an option. And so being on my own was what I was going to do. I went back in 2019, and within a year, the world shut down. And then after those 2 months, basically within a year and a half, my books were so full that I couldn't take new clients, which then that's usually at a point where a stylist is like, I have to do something. I want to take new clients. And so you're encouraged. If you follow accounts for like business women in the hair industry, you are usually told if you can't take new people, you raise your prices. I kind of got away from weekends. I raised my prices, kind of trying to I hate to say weed out, but so that there were open availability for people who are willing to charge those prices. And I had to do that a few times because I kept filling up. And part of that is my clients had my back. They knew that I had been a stay-at-home mom and was going back to work. So they were telling all their friends, to come to me. And yeah, it was less than a year and a half that my books were too full to even have room for somebody new. So I guess, I kind of stumbled into it. And then recognized that as much as I love my job, if I want it to be something where I'm able to financially support my family, I have to think in a business mindset as well. It's not just a fun job, it's a career. So that's probably where that came from. Every time I've had to, build my business, I've pushed into this situation where I don't have a choice. I would not recommend that for others. But yeah, if you get to a point where you feel pushed, you have two options. You succeed or you fail.
Yeah.
So,
and that's what's great about this industry is you can do what you want with it. There's so much freedom. Yeah. You have so many options.
Yep. You can make the amount of money you make is based on how much you're willing to put into your business. And that doesn't mean you work 60 hours a week.
Right.
It just means that you value what you're able to take to your clients and you put a price point on that you're worth, and you can make it, you can make however much you want to make.
Yeah. And you have to manage it well and set your priorities. So as you were raising your prices and losing clients in an effort to gain more clients and fill your books with people who had the ability to pay what you're charging and sustain your business, were you ever afraid that you would lose too many clients and this could backfire?
Absolutely. I guess that's sometimes a downside to being having this bond with them too, is I love them. I don't want them to go anywhere. So every time I've had to raise my prices a smidge, I've never done a significant one, but every time I'm worried that I'm going to lose somebody that means a lot to me, which that's where you have to have a break between your business mindset and your personal. And that's always been hard for me. And I've lost a couple here and there, but it's never been a significant. People don't leave you because you're charging $5 or $10 more. They don't.
Right.
I mean, unless they're extremely strapped. And at the end of the day, I may not be the right person for every single person. And it took a long time for me to accept that. But I recognize that, some people are the right fit for me and some people aren't. And at this point in my career, I feel like I have this dream clientele that everybody that sits in my chair is somebody I would go to lunch with, somebody I really enjoy. And
they value what you do, support what you do, and the people you like to work with. That's so important. So have you ever had maybe a client who you knew wasn't a great fit for your business, but wasn't affected by your price point, and you knew you needed to offload that person and not see him or her anymore? Have you ever had that happen where you've had to be the one that takes the action because they don't respond to the price increase like you intended?
Yes. Okay. So I have done that. I think it took a lot of time for me to have the confidence in myself to not accept, someone who maybe didn't treat me well or didn't fit personality wise. But I have gotten to a point that I hope every hairstylist can see that within themselves, that you don't have to accept every single person. They have so many other people that they can go to. I had a specific client somewhat recently that it was her first time in with me. It was an incredibly uncomfortable experience from the moment I met her to the moment she left the salon for loads of reasons. I don't want to go too into it, but one of my biggest icks is like when people talk bad about the other people who've done their hair. And that was consistent through the appointment, just kept trash talking other stylists that had done her hair. Big red flag. And I don't mind you telling me why you left. I think that is good information to have, but not the way that she was. She was trash talking her own daughter. She seemed, I don't know, if you're a hairdresser, you can tell so quickly when it's like, this person is not my cup of tea.
And I can tell the problem is you, not all the previous people.
Oh, and I mean, everything I recommended to her to help with, so she had these issues with her hair that she was wanting to resolve. Everything that I tried to recommend, she came back like, well, that doesn't work for me. Or, well, I don't want to do that, And I was like, okay, this person doesn't trust me. Or she's not letting me do my job. And I was just very uncomfortable, anxiety through the roof. And like halfway through the appointment, I just told myself like, I don't have to do her hair again. I think you think in your head, you just have to provide a service for whoever. And if you're in a commission salon, you do. They won't let you not do their hair again. And so I already knew I wasn't going to do her hair again, but I got through the service. She liked her hair. Unfortunately for me, she was very happy, wanted to rebook. I didn't know how I was going to handle it yet. So I went ahead and let her reschedule her next appointment. I tried to encourage her to just do it online because I was so nervous. I always pre-book people, but I was like, you can look online if you want. And she still was like, I want to do it now. I went down the hall to Lacey after the appointment and like, I didn't even get words out. And she was like, what is wrong? Why are you so anxious? Like what? And I was like, I just had like 2 straight hours of just anxiety. Like it was very uncomfortable. I'm determined I'm not doing her hair again. Like I'm not putting myself through that again. And she was like, okay, well, anyway, long story short, I used ChatGPT. I used AI.
Yeah.
Very, very good use of AI when you're trying to professionally speak to a client. And so I just like typed in there exactly how I was feeling. I just had a very uncomfortable experience. I don't want to do her hair again. How do I say this without, one, making her feel like she's a burden? She may have made me anxious, but I don't want to make her feel bad about herself. So how do I do this in a way that like makes sure she doesn't feel like that she's the problem, even though she might be. But I didn't want to hurt her.
But you wanted to be clear that she was
very
not
clear.
coming back.
Yes. And I've saved that response in case I ever have that situation again.
That's smart.
I waited till the next day and it was very professional. It was like, it was good to meet you yesterday. I'm glad you were happy with your hair. However, I don't feel like we were the best fit. Because I did still feel like there were things she was looking in the mirror. Well, I don't think it's that light. She still didn't seem very happy. Very impossible to please, the type. Mm-hmm. And I just could see the future appointments already, And so.
And the dread.
Yeah.
I remember the dread of seeing those people on your books.
Yep.
You get up in the morning, they're coming in.
I would have known for weeks. I would have been so stressed.
Yeah.
And so I sent the text. I immediately felt relief. I was like, oh my God. Thank God. I mean, the end of it was, Lacey recommended, she's like, be very clear that you're canceling that appointment that she rescheduled because she might think she gets to come back one more time. So it was very clear. I said that it was canceled. I wished her the best in finding a good stylist that would fit her needs and her style better. And all she said back was, okay. And I was like, okay, this has happened to her before. The amount of relief I felt from that was, I can't even describe it. But I definitely had a moment of like, I'm so glad that I run my own thing. Mm-hmm. That there's no manager to tell me, no, you can't do that. You have to deal with it. Or even if they were able to go to someone else in the salon, I wouldn't want to do that to one of my coworkers. I definitely didn't give her recommendations. I'm not going to send her to even my worst enemy. I'm like, good luck. Hope you find someone else. And I'm sure I will be the next stylist that she talks crap onto somebody, that's fine. I'm happy to be that person and not be the person that she has to see next time, because it was very uncomfortable the entire time. So
good story.
That's definitely one of the benefits being on your own.
So I love that you said you went and talked to Lacey. Mm-hmm. So here at Utopia, everybody is independent. We are not a team or a family, but we are a community, and we're super proud of that. So I love hearing that you were able to go next door to the stylist that works next door to you and that she could read you immediately.
Oh my gosh, yes. Lacey's done hair, I think, I don't know how long has she done hair, but longer than me. She's like big sister to me here. And I figured she'd probably dealt with something similar before. And so, I mean, she even had a client in her chair. And I was like, what do I do?
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt like I could talk to her. I mean, she literally even texted me this morning. Like, we talk a lot about just work stuff, but she's got a great business mindset. She's a very good emotional support. I go to her a lot. And I feel like I can do that with a lot of the girls here. It's kind of the perfect blend of being on your own, running your own business, but like still feeling like you have support of other people. Even just something as simple as like one of the fears I had the first time I went off on my own was like, what if I have a color in my chair and I'm questioning how to formulate what I want to do? You know, like usually you have the break room that you can go back and be like, guys, this is what my client wants and this is what I think I'm going to do. And you bounce the ideas off and you kind of get some feedback, which I will say, not having that made me a lot more confident as a stylist because I had to trust my gut and do what I thought was best without, you know, the support. But I still know that like, I know these girls well enough that if I've got somebody in my chair and I'm questioning what I think I should do, I've got people I can just walk down the hall and ask. As far as community goes, part of what made me want to come to Utopia, because I was happy where I was at, not super happy, but not mad enough to be pushed like I was the other times I moved. But part of what made me want to come here was that you are a hairstylist. So, you know, having a hairstylist be the person behind running this business, even when you've been here, I've asked you color questions or haircut questions or client questions because you can relate to us on that level.
Which I love.
Yes.
I miss being behind the chairs.
I'm sure.
Yes. But I love to be brought into those conversations. And I hope that I can provide value. So it was really fun when you said that in the hallway that one time, like, this is so fun that you can have this conversation.
And that just that
made my day.
You get this side of our business. And in the beginning of the year, I reached out to you to just see if you'd meet with me to give me some advice on how to grow my numbers this year. And that's, you know, you're not our manager. So you didn't have to do that. And you met with me for like an hour just talking about, okay, what days are you working? What are your prices? How do we change this? Should we do a website? Different ideas to just help me think of ways to grow my business every year, because it's not failing by any means, but I'm not a stagnant person. You know, 1 year's great. Okay, I want to at least be 10% better next year. How do I do that? And once you've done it for 15 years, you kind of start running out of ideas.
Yeah.
Like, my books are full. I've already raised my prices. What do I do now? And as much as I respected the property management at my last place, that person didn't work in the hair industry. And that's just not something I could have done with them. Like, I couldn't have said, hey, can you meet with me and give me business tips? And so that was really a great moment too. And then with you guys, this is kind of a off topic, but I went home from work a couple months ago and told Jesse, my husband, I was like, Utopia won Small Business of the Year in Wichita Chamber. And I said, think I made a good move. You know, like, it was just even more confirmation that this was the right move for me, because it is harder to move when you don't need to. You know, I was comfortable. I'd been there 6 years. I didn't need to go anywhere. And I had just had a baby. So I had maternity leave, had depleted savings and things like that, where I was like, is this financially smart? But I knew if I didn't get in here when you opened, I wouldn't get a spot. So I questioned it a lot.
Sure.
And I'm very glad I did it.
Well, I love to hear that. I will say, you know, when we won that award, that was super exciting and humbling. But I credit that to the people like you who work here and make it a great place and make it a great community and give us a reputation of a place where the general public, the Wichita community, knows if they choose a beauty provider within Utopia, they're going to find quality and they're going to enjoy their visit. They love coming into our salons because they can feel the community, but they also know that they're going to have a quality experience like what you give. So I credit all that back to all of you, but I do appreciate what you said about my leadership as a stylist and being able to help you. And on that, I want to say, you know, it's funny because my 35 years behind the chair, I didn't know all the things. I didn't do all the things. I didn't implement all the things. I continued to learn and learn and learn. But I've always said I'm really good at, and I think I told you this when I met with you, I'm really good at taking someone else's business, dissecting it, and giving you great advice. That advice I didn't take for myself always. I wish I would have. But it's also come to me not just from my experiences, but because of all the people who work here. I see what they're doing. You know who we're watching. There are some people who are really killing it in this industry in our suites. And so I'm watching what they're doing and really paying attention so that I can take all that cumulative knowledge and put it together and help someone like you when the situation arises. So those are my favorite parts of what I do, is being able to mentor or help or support. But I love that you recognize that and appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. I think kind of spinning off of what you just said too, as far as suite life and the pluses of that, is that we all do support each other. Like, when I'm wanting to look at, I still haven't built a website, need to do that. But when I am looking to build a website, I look at other Utopia professionals' websites because I admire them. And we aren't co-workers. We all have clientele. Like, we are not in competition with each other. We're all in support of each other. So that is like a really incredible aspect of being independent as well and part of this community, is if I know right now I can't take evening appointments. Like, my evenings are booked out for like 6 months or more because I only work one evening a week. But I went around and asked which girls had evening availability, because that way, if one of my clients just can't handle my schedule anymore and can't get in, then I know I have somebody that I trust that I can send them to. And two, if I have new clients reaching out, but they have to come after 4 p.m., I have somewhere good for them to send them to. And that just is proof that we're not in competition with each other whatsoever. If anything, I just want to help them grow their business.
I love how that works too. And especially when we have people who do different services, who provide different services. We've got estheticians and their clients want to know about the hairstylist and vice versa. But it does always fascinate people that we have so many hairstylists in one business. And if they don't understand the industry and our community, they don't understand how that's not competitive. But it's not.
It's not.
No.
Well, because you have to have the right fit of person.
Well, Hannah, thank you so much for sitting with me and sharing with us all of your experiences. It's been very interesting. You have great stories. You built a great business. I love having you here at Utopia. I think everyone does. You talk about the community and what they do for you. You're that person as well. So it's been really fun talking to you. I love how you work your business and you maintain your family life really well also. Thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast. And if you've enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend.
This show is part of the ICT Podcast Network. For more information, visit ictpod.net.